Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about set boosters, which are a thing of the past, play boosters, and collector boosters, and what is the outcome of all these changes to the booster packs that Magic the Gathering has been implementing and making all these new changes since July of 2020. So around July 2020, they announced set boosters. And before set boosters were available, there were only two types of boosters. You either get a draft booster, which is what people use to draft, and there was one rare, maybe sometimes you get an extra one if it's foil. And back then there was like one common of every color, so that so it could be draftable, and then when you're drafting, what people took from the pack or what's missing, what was passed, etc. But what happened was, if you were not a drafter, like, it would kind of suck to open draft boosters, because you get your one rare, and then it's just a bunch of chaff, a bunch of bulk that you didn't care about. And so what they introduced were set boosters. And so what is a set booster? Right? We're not gonna go through the whole thing. I think it's pretty complicated. It's kind of, but this is the predecessor to what we have today, which is the play booster. So anyway, what's a set booster? So really quickly, we're gonna go through it. It's what they introduced to make opening booster packs more fun for the average non-draft, non-limited Magic player. So you could, at that time, as probably many of you know, because it wasn't that long ago, you either could buy a box of draft boosters, which would be the cheapest product back then. And back then, I think they were like around $100 for a draft booster box, or 110, and there was 36 packs. Or you could buy a box of set boosters, which I didn't really buy much set boosters, but I think they were going for like 120 to 140 a box, 120 maybe, 120 something, and then there were 24 packs of set boosters. And so there was an art card, there's a land slot, bunch of commons and uncommons, and they were quote unquote connected, so there was like some type of theme to them. The fireworks section, right? The head turner slot, the wild card slot, the rare mythic slot, the foil slot, and then a token, whatever, right? So like the epilogue, the big finish. They try to make it all fancy and flashy and fun. And I mean, I think it was a pretty good success. People liked it, and in fact, they liked it so much so that they were not selling enough draft boosters. And so what was going on was Wizards of the Coast was printing three different types of products, right? They would print a ton of draft boosters, they would print a ton of set boosters, and they would print a ton of collector boosters. And I think most people bought set boosters. They were the ones that were sold the most, and people weren't buying enough draft boosters. And Wizards was probably not making enough money, and they were losing a lot of money or whatever, printing all this extra product. So what happened was they created the play booster. And what the play booster is, it's just a combination of the draft boosters plus the set boosters. So really, it's just set boosters that are draftable. And so they got rid of the thing where like the connected commons and uncommons, right? Because you can't really, it'd be weird to draft if every common and uncommon was like an elf or something in that pack, and things like that. So they got rid of that, and they still have all this wild card stuff and art card and all that stuff to make it fun. So the idea is, you can either use the play boosters to draft, or you can just crack open the play boosters as you would for the set booster. And I guess it's a little more fun to crack open the play booster and crack open the set booster as opposed to the original draft booster, because you can get multiple rares and mythics in a booster, right? Up to like 4 in a booster, which is what the set boosters had. Now the play boosters have, and this made a big change. It has really changed drafting, but it's really changed sealed the most, I think, because you can, in sealed, you get 6 booster packs, so it'll be 6 play booster packs now, and each pack can contain up to 4 rares and or mythics, right? So I mean, so you could have this one person that's got 24 rares or mythics in their seal pool, and then somebody else who's got 6 rares or mythics, and it's the luck of the draw. How many rares, mythics did you get per pack, right? Those are the extreme cases, everyone will fall somewhere in between, but generally there's just more rares and mythics open. And so I think it's really affected sealed play a lot. Draft, not as much. I think drafting is still okay with the draft boosters. And just a little bit about myself, like I draft a lot. I don't do much sealed, but I do draft a lot. So and so that's what happened, right? So they combined the set and the draft boosters, and they had to do this because I think there was like discussion of no longer printing draft boosters because they just weren't making enough money. So if they didn't print any more draft boosters and they were only going to print set boosters, well, people weren't going to be able to draft Magic anymore. And that was like a foundational thing of Magic the Gathering, is the fact that you could draft. And it's a really great experience if you, if you haven't done it or whatever. I do recommend you try drafting. I think to me, it's one of the best ways to play the game and also open packs unless you're going to open collective boosters. So what has all these changes and all these different types of boosters done to just the financial aspect of Magic the Gathering cards and also sealed products? So these days, if you crack open packs just to crack open them, you have the play boosters and you can get a bunch of rares and mythics and stuff like that in your play booster, which is nice and all. But the problem is, and this has been a problem, I don't know if it's a problem, but the thing is, they put all the best stuff in the collector boosters, right? The collector boosters, the only place you can get anything worth any real value. Like usually in a play booster, the best thing you can open is probably like maybe if you're lucky, the set has like a $50 rare. And you can only get it in the base treatment, maybe foil, maybe the showcase or whatever. But the collector booster is the only place to get the serialized cards, the fracture foils, or whatever special type of foiling they have for that set, right? Like the surge foils or the mana foils or the double rainbow foil or the whatever the new ones are called and this and that. So the problem I see is if you're not drafting and you're just cracking open play boosters, it's okay, but it's gonna be really hard to get enough value to be worth the cost of what you paid for the product. I'm not saying, and even with collectible boosters, it's going to be very hard. No matter what, if you're cracking packs, it's going to be very hard. But play boosters, especially so, more so, because I feel like for play boosters, you're basically capped at how much value you could get because you're never going to get a serialized card. So the serialized cards, depending on what it is and what set, they could go for thousands, right? I think in Innistrad Remastered, the Edgar Markov serialized card is selling for, what is it, like 2,000-3,000, and the regular one is probably $40 right now. And so the maximum value you could get from a play booster of Innistrad Remastered is like $40 if you hit a Edgar Markov, the regular one or the showcase or whatever. But if you open collectors, the ceiling is a lot higher. You could get, again, a very, 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 very low chance, but you could get the serialized Edgar Markov, and it could be worth over $2,000. So I think, personally, if you are not drafting play boosters, it's probably best to open and buy collector boosters to crack open. You just get more bang for your buck. Now, maybe not, collectibles are expensive. They're like $300-$400 a box, and there's only 12 packs in that box. And play boosters are cheaper. They're, depending on when you get them, where you get them, they could range from maybe $110, $120 to $140 a box. And there are 30 packs in a play booster box. So what all of this consolidation of the products has done is essentially increase the price of Magic products, and certainly increase the price of a draft. Because whereas before you could get 36 draft boosters for $100 or so, and you needed 3 boosters to draft, and there were 36 boosters in the box. Now, today, you have to pay the price of a set booster, or they're all play boosters now, but you pay this extra price, which is higher than the old draft boosters, and there's only 30 packs per box now. So it has certainly increased that, but some people don't want to spend 300-400 plus to get collector boosters, right? They like the experience of opening 30 packs and only having to spend $150. And maybe you'll get lucky. You'll hit 4 Edgar Markovs in your box at around $40-50 each, and you can get $200, and the value of the cards will be more than the box. Or you're not as lucky, and or there's a set where maybe there isn't a $40-50 rare, and you open the whole box and it's not worth it. But so personally for me, I think opening the collector boosters is the way to go if you want to crack packs. If you're drafting, I mean, you only have one option, but if you want to open play boosters, I prefer drafted. But if you don't like to draft, then you can open play boosters. Or what I think it would be a better use of money would be to open collector boosters. But to each their own. Do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you happy. Definitely go for it. Don't listen to me. I'm just giving my opinion, my advice. And the last thing I want to end on is just what the collector boosters kind of has done to the prices of singles and the price of foil cards, because every single card in a collector booster is foil. And it used to be that foils were special, and foil cards were worth something. And because now so many foils are open, and that foils, the quality of the foils, like they curl, and people don't want to use them for competitive because they can't, because their cards will be marked or whatever. Like, foil prices oftentimes are the same as the non-foil, or even lower sometimes. So it certainly has had a negative impact on the foil premium cards. It also just, I feel like, has put a lot of supply on a lot of cards on the market, which could be a good or bad thing, right? Like, if there are more of a highly sought after card, the price is lower, and so it's more obtainable for people to play the game. But certainly if you're a collector, then the value of your collectible cards are decreased by that, which is why then you have to chase the showcase treatment foil or whatever, fracture foil, serialized. Those are the only ones that are worth anything now. Which is why I always keep going back. It's like, if you opening play boosters, you're not going to get anything that's worth anything, because just the sheer fact that collector boosters exist, and so just more of regular versions of any rare or any card is printed and exists, and the supply increases, the price of the cards go down. And so if you're only opening play boosters for your collection or whatever, then the prices of those cards won't go up that much. So if you want to have like a collection and you want some value in them, you kind of have to buy the collector boosters and open those. But if you're going to play with the card and you just want to play set, then yeah, that doesn't really matter. Then if you want to do that, just buy singles. Like, right? The ultimate advice is always just buy singles. And then, and I also want to just quickly compare the booster opening experience from Magic the Gathering with all these different type of collector boosters, play boosters, whatever, to opening boosters in other TCGs like Pokemon and One Piece, or those kinds of games, right? So Pokemon just has a booster pack. They don't have like collector boosters, set boosters, draft boosters, play boosters, right? I don't think you can even draft Pokemon. Um, and One Piece is like that, and probably many other card games are like that, where just if you get the card and you can open any version of the card. You can get the ultimate chase version of the set of the card in the booster pack. And there are no other special booster packs, so it's not like Magic where you can only get the best version, most expensive version from the collector booster, and basically if you're buying or opening play boosters, you can't get anything worth more than maybe $50. Um, and so I think it's personally I prefer that Pokemon motto where you can get any version and the best version from just the one and only booster pack, because it just, you know, it sucks that you have to spend three, four, five plus $100 just to have that experience of opening a really, really cool, really awesome, really valuable card. And so, and also, I think it'll be really cool that if you're drafting, you can also have that shot of getting that really, really valuable card. But the way Magic has it, the only way to get those really valuable cards is to buy collector boosters. I mean, and that's what they want. I mean, it's so expensive. Does like how much have you ever bought one of those Omega packs or whatever they call it, like the single collector booster? And it comes in like this really big packaging of all this cardboard, and inside there's only one collector booster, and it's like $30-$40 for that one pack. It's ridiculous. So it sucks you have to spend that much money, but I guess it works because these collector boxes are very collectible, and people like them, and they really go up in value a lot. All right, well, let me know what your thoughts on. Do you open play boosters? Do you draft them? Do you buy and open collector boosters? Do you keep them sealed? What do you prefer? Do you open Pokemon packs? Do you buy Pokemon? Um what's your experience on those as well? All right. See you later, guys.